What you're about to watch is something you'll never see in a Formula One broadcast, and that is a driver being extracted from a car. Now, when there's a big incident out on track, the TV feed would usually cut away out of respect for the driver to give him and the medical team some privacy whilst they're sorting out the situation. But in this video, I've joined up with Motorsport UK to show you the full process of how they extract a Formula One driver from a car. So I'm here at Silverstone outside the medical centre, and today I'm going to be their extraction test dummy.
So today we're going to be performing a demonstration extrication out of a single-seater tub with a halo, which is intended to replicate an F1 or one of the FIA Formula cars that are fitted with a halo. We're running a scenario where the driver's conscious. First thing we do is just make sure that the whole scene is safe and we've got some safe access to get to the driver. The team that are going to be dealing with the driver will introduce themselves and just inquire as to whether there's any pain and whether the driver can in fact remove their own gloves, helmet, balaclava.
Do you think you'd be able to help us by taking your own helmet and your own hands device off?
Yeah. Okay, do that now for us, driver.
If the driver can, then clearly they're breathing. So we'll get them to remove their own crash helmet as a first approach, because clearly it's way better if somebody removes their own helmet rather than us doing it.
We're going to take you out. Any pain at any point, we'll stop what we're doing, okay?
At this point, we need to remove the horseshoe head protection from around the sides of the cockpit. Ideally, get the driver to sit still. There's an explanation of what's going to happen. It's because despite the fact that the drivers are all familiar with that seat, the whole concept of being removed while you're not in control is a little bit foreign, so there's quite a lot of reassurance required. So there are some straps fastened to the seat. The seat comes pre-fitted with those, and they're standard on all these FIA extraction seats. They work with a kit of parts that come from the FIA, which includes some additional straps and some head padding. We then begin to fasten straps relatively loosely to start with across the chest, just to make sure that they're in position. And then there are a couple of straps that fasten across your hips and the top of your legs.
Okay, we're going to strap your arms and your knees together, okay. And that's just to stop them getting caught on the way out, okay? So just cross your palms like that for me. That's great. Just
so that when the driver gets lifted out, they don't suffer any injury to those parts by them being uncontrolled, because it's very hard to hold on to people's arms or legs separately. So the seat's fastened in. Usually it positions over a couple of pins at the shoulders, and it just sits in the tub, and it's held in by the driver's weight and the fact that the driver is then belted into the tub. So it's not bolted down. Typically it just sits there with the driver's weight and the belts holding it in place. So there are 4 lifting points and you have 4 people to lift. Now the cars are fitted with a halo, it's a little bit more awkward than it was previously. It's a little bit of a higher lift, but essentially 4 of the rescuers will position themselves to lift the driver. Typically you need to lift up and slightly tilt the driver forwards because of the airbox and the camera, and we have to take care obviously not to damage people's knees on the bottom of the dashboard. So it's ready, brace and lift. On ready, everybody has then an opportunity to say, actually I haven't got a good grip. Brace is when you take up the slack in any of the straps, and then lift is actually the point at which you're lifting.
Ready, brace.
Once we've lifted to the height of the halo, we then put a small board across so that we can sit the seat on it, and the team can then reposition themselves to lift out one side of the car or the other. Board's in.
Okay, and rest.
The driver's then lifted clear of the car and moved across to what's called an orthopedic or scoop stretcher, which is on a vacuum mattress.
Everybody set.
Yep.
Ready, brace, lift.
They're laid down on that. The straps are then all removed and the driver's made comfortable, put in the right place, and then we fasten the vacuum mattress around them. At that point they would be loaded into an ambulance and off to the medical centre. So the reason it's important is because we don't do it very often, and therefore it's a muscle memory activity and you suffer from skill fade. And so the idea is to do this whilst in a controlled manner. You don't want to take a huge amount of time to do it.
Now, funny enough, this isn't actually the first video I've done with Motorsport UK. We actually did the video about how they put out race fires. So if you fancy watching that, then make sure to click the top video up there. And a massive thanks to Motorsport UK and to the whole entire crew here at Silverstone for showing us the whole process. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.